Yeah! Welcome to another episode of the Racer X Exhaust Podcast. Sorry, I didn't quite have one last week. I recorded this one last week. As you'll see, it's already become quite dated. Spoiler alert. But I did learn a lot while I was out in California for Glen Helen. I actually went in early to host a Suzuki open house event at their headquarters on Thursday afternoon. But while I was there, I stopped by Yoshimura. Yoshimura, of course, the sponsor of the show. But I'm not just talking about this because they're a sponsor. It's actually interesting info. I was trying for years to figure out Suzuki runs their factory teams out of Yoshimura's buildings. So I was trying to understand that relationship. And the best way to do it was to just go there and see it. So Yoshimura actually has two buildings next door, or really across the street from each other. One is where they actually make the pipes. I had no idea. I literally did not know that Yoshimura pipes are made in the USA. The race team's pipes and the pipes you actually would buy at your dealership to put on your bikes. Now, I don't understand why they don't pump this up, made in the USA. I mean, can you get a more American-sounding brand name than Yoshimura? I mean, the American flag is practically dripping off of that logo that has Japanese lettering on it. Okay, so maybe that's why they don't really push the made in the USA angle, but it was really interesting to see how the pipes are made. It's better than sausage. And then also to see the race shop. Now, this is where the legendary Suzuki road racing team has always worked out of and continues to. They have the Moto America champion with Tony Elias on the Suzuki Gixxer. And this is where the JGR guys work when they're on the West Coast. They had actually just wrapped up when I got there on Wednesday, and we're headed out to Glen Helen. But in that race shop, the area for the motocross bikes, a lot of history was built there. That's where Carmichael's bikes were built. That's where Dungey's bikes were built when he was racing for Suzuki. And that's where James Stewart's bikes were built. When I walked into the lobby of the race shop, there were two James Stewart bikes, including a Washougal bike from a few years back that he never raced. This would have been from 2014 when the Adderall drug test failure finally caught up to him. I believe he raced Millville and then didn't race the second moto there and then never went to Washougal. But they had the race bike prepped. Never used it. I don't know if it ever was even started. So just sitting there in the lobby. And then even crazier, they have the parts cage. Now, a lot of these race shops have that. There's a big cage so people cannot just steal the race parts. But I was able to peek behind the curtain. And yes, the curtain was an actual vinyl backdrop with James Stewart pictures and JS7 all over it. It's actually banners they would have hung in the pits at the team semi. Now those banners are used to wall off the parts cage. But I was able to peek behind them and look, and there it is. I saw it. An actual clear Tupperware container with permanent marker written on it. It just literally said JS7. Just rando James Stewart Suzuki parts just still sitting there in the Yoshimura race shop. Just so much mystery, and who even knows, man? What's James doing? How did it end with Suzuki? What was happening? I don't even know. And the team that he raced for, that official Yoshimura Suzuki factory team at the time, no longer exists. JGR all runs it. Just thought it was interesting to see that behind the scenes, and also interesting that Yoshimura builds all their stuff in the United States. In fact, if you live in Japan and you order Yoshimura exhaust system for your bike, it's actually made in the USA. There's exporting going on. Tell Trump. They're doing their best to export. So big thanks to my buddy Big E over at Yoshimura. Check them out. Yoshimura-rd.com. Big E, big fan of the podcast, and he's the one that gave me the tour that took so long that we were actually late for the Suzuki event that I was hosting. But if you don't know that I'm going to be late for an event that I'm hosting, you don't know me. Should have saw the time that I showed up in Vegas at 1:01 p.m. for a press conference that started at 1 o'clock that I was hosting. And late is going to be a theme here for this podcast, which I recorded Friday afternoon, press day, in the Honda rig with Christian Craig. Lo and behold, the very next day, Christian goes out, whole shots, crashes, tears his ACL, and his summer is now over. But don't worry, that does not make this podcast dated. It took me a few days to get it all edited up and everything, and here we are. And now he's hurt. But the topics that we cover today really don't involve specific results coming forward in 2018. This is about the journey of Christian Craig from having a racer dad to being an amateur standout and getting on the Troy Lee team and then failing and actually retiring and then coming back. And probably also we're going to answer the question everyone wants to know the most. How can the guy function with his toddler kid running around on weekends? That's stressful enough. I have a son the same age. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible to do anything else but keep track of him. And Christian has to also race. So that's two of the most stressful things combined into one. But spoiler alert, it's actually a tool, he believes, to make himself ride better and focus on other things besides getting stressed out on racing the day of the race. But I will let him explain that in this podcast where Christian Craig really opens up, really great analysis from him, but I cannot get there without this first. Podcast. 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 Ah, yeah, the only thing that would sound better than that is the twin pipes coming out of the back of Christian Craig's factory Honda with the Yoshimura pipes. And now they actually have the Works Edition machine that will come with those pipes right on it, stock, and also some Ken Roczen graphics. So, tough break for the Honda people to lose Christian Craig, but at least Ken Roczen is stepping up. And by the way, yes, my 3-year-old has just walked in the office to try to interrupt me recording this show. So I don't know how Christian Craig deals with it, but I'll let him answer that question. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Christian Craig. Again, this interview taking place inside the Honda rig, so you might hear some generator sounds in the background. We also have some occasional guests walking in and out, including his son Jagger, his wife Paige, and Eric Kehoe, the Honda manager, because we took up their lounge for 45 minutes and people needed to work in there. So I couldn't exactly get out of the way. We had to record. Look, I'm talking about kids on this show, man. Be quiet. Here we go. Hey, so first, let's start. You doing human duty, putting the sport on your shoulders this morning. What time did you get here for press day?
Okay, so I tried to fight this one off a little bit. Mandy asked me a couple days ago. I'm like, it's 7. Like, what do I have to do? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you know what? It's my job. And it's an hour away from my house. It's fine. I talked to myself about it. I'm like, all right, I'm going.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was here early for press. Did the KTL LA 5 news, little stuff like that. Like you do in Supercross every weekend. So it's kind of...
I don't think most regular fans know this goes on all the time.
No, though. See, it's like, I rarely do this at outdoors.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they came out, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Got to teach the news lady how to ride, which is sketchy.
Was it?
Yeah, I did not like doing that, because I don't like seeing people going down, I don't know. But it worked out fine. It was cool, and then obviously got on TV and promoting the sport. That's what I'm all about. And that's the Los Angeles affiliate. That's a big market. Yeah, and I actually got some comments on my Instagram an hour later, just random people saying they saw it. I didn't even promote it. I just people hit me up saying they saw it randomly. So that's cool. It's cool to see that, and then hopefully it brings more people out here. I feel like our sport is stuck, in this little bubble right now, and it's on that verge of bursting and getting huge. Yeah. And I'm just waiting for that breakout. When you interact with regular people and you say that you do this for a living, what do they think? That's the whole question. How do we get other people to know about it? Go up to, or some random person will ask me what's my job, and I'll tell them dirt bikes, and the first thing they think is Travis Pastrana. Still? Yes, that. Still okay, so you do the tricks, you do the backflips. I'm like, no. We go in the stadium and we race against each other, and then they get it, and they're like, oh yeah, over at Anaheim Stadium. I'm like, yeah, Angel Stadium. Okay. Oh, I've seen that. But I mean, in SoCal, it's actually massive in SoCal. Right. Only every state could be like this about dirt bikes, because here you can go to any gas station and a random person will recognize you. So really? You almost feel famous in a way, but you're not. You know you're not famous. But it's pretty cool that in SoCal that it's getting bigger and bigger, and hopefully it expands more. Wow. Yeah, because I would just think that most people, I would just be asked this when I was a kid, they'd be like, what does Jeremy McGrath do for a job? And I'm like, he makes money doing this. Yeah. And it would blow people's mind. Yeah. So I just always wonder when you're interacting in daily life, do people ever say wait, that's your job? Oh, they do that. They say that. They're like, okay, so what else do you do? I'm like, no, that's my job. And, some people don't make a lot of money with it, but I'm like, there's very few that can retire off of their money in motocross, but we're all trying to go for those very few people that can do that. But it is good money when you're putting in good results. You might not be making the millions, but you're making enough to to support a family and keep doing it and try to get there eventually. And your weird situation was, so at one point your dad was also at that level in Southern California. Yeah. So do you think he was getting recognized, or is the sport maybe grown
probably hard for you to know because you were probably 5 when this is going on. Or was it maybe always like that in this little cocoon here?
See, I get a lot. In Southern California, I get a lot of, I used to ride with your dad.
Oh, okay.
Like, all the time. That's the first thing people say. Dude, where's your dad? I used to ride with him. Like, can you tell him this? Like, tell him I said hi. I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, that was a long time ago. I was tiny. And like, do you remember me when in 95? I'm like, no, I was 3. So, yeah, you get that a lot, but it has grown. It's on TV, like, a lot. I mean, obviously live, and then and social media obviously helps it grow too. Right.
Okay, but oddly, you did have a regular job for a brief time.
Yes.
What is that experience like now, looking back at it? Because on the outside, people are like, "Oh, that's he got motivated because he's like, this sucked." So what was that like?
See, I tell Paige, like, I'm like, I don't almost remember those 2 years that I left.
Really?
It was almost like a blur.
Really?
Yeah, like at first it was like, it was motivation to come back, but now I look back, I'm like, I did that?
Wow.
I took a year and a half off, and now I'm back. Like, I almost felt like I didn't leave.
So when you look at your racing career, it just seemed like it was one seamless...
Going. Yeah, like I just took a break from the injuries.
Yeah.
But, man, it's like... You get like Mathis he's telling riders to do what I did. You know,
the Christian Craig program,
they're like, they're spoiled. Like, make him stop and have a taste of real life, and then he'll come back wanting it more. And that's what happened to me. You know, I grew up doing it, so I knew nothing else.
Right.
When I got that taste of real life, I'm like, I want to race a dirt bike. So I was ready. And obviously I showed it on the track, so. Yeah,
and you had dealt with some gnarly injuries. Yeah. So it wasn't just... not being motivated, but I'm sure you had to be a little bit scared too, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like I wasn't going fast because I was more like fear of getting hurt.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I got to go to this race. I got to make it here to get a ride.
Okay.
So it's like, and I get hurt. I'm like, crap. You know, it's.
Yep.
I'm spending more time in a hospital than on the track. So that just made me over it. I was time to just like, I'm over it. I don't like dirt bikes anymore.
Yeah.
And then it took me 6 months to finally fall back in love with it and enjoy it again.
Okay, so what was the actual job you were doing? Were you like on the roof hammering nails? What were you doing?
See, I get this a lot. It was like I was a supervisor for a home building company.
Okay.
I didn't do all the labor, but I did do some.
Okay.
So when the handymans or whatever, the contractors needed me, I would help them.
All right.
But mostly it was just making sure the house gets built properly.
All right. Were you qualified for this at all?
No.
At
first everybody was like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, nope. But I followed a guy around for a good couple of months and learned his job, which turned into my job. Mm-hmm. And then, a lot of people are like, you got that because you're your father-in-law. And it is true. I wouldn't have picked that. Yeah. But it was good money, good insurance. Like, everything looked like, I'm like, all right, this is my job forever.
Yeah.
Or until I retire.
Yeah.
And it's just that wasn't me.
How long did you go without riding a dirt bike?
I went about 6 months. So when I stopped, I got hurt and then I retired. I don't like to say retired because that's for older people.
Okay.
And retiring is like where you're done working. I had to go to another job. I didn't retire. Right. I just stopped stopped racing. So, it was about 6 months, and I'm like, hey, can I get a dirt bike? I asked Jeff, my father-in-law, and then they sent me a stock 450, and then that's when it kind of clicked.
Really?
I still wanted to go ride on the weekends. I'd work all week, and I didn't want weekends off. I wanted to go to the track. So I'd deep down, I'm like, I still love this.
And you had not felt that way?
No.
7 months earlier?
I went to local races, and it was just me and Paige, and I had so much fun just going to local races.
Okay.
I don't care about the winning. I was winning those, obviously, because it's a local race, but I was enjoying it again.
Interesting.
And that was the biggest thing for me.
Was that weird? Where people are like, dude, what? Because this is in Minnesota, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So were some people like, Christian Craig is here?
Yeah. So at first they're all kind of taken back, but then I became friends with most of the Minnesota motocross community.
Yeah.
And then we would go ride every weekend. In the wintertime, there was one indoor track that I would go to. We'd all meet once a week.
Man.
And it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then after a while, I'm like, I'm ready to come back. I started to get that itch again. So obviously the rest you kind of know.
Yeah, but what was the process? I remember you came back. Was it Redbud? Was that the first one?
Or no, it was Colorado.
It was Colorado. Okay, it was before that. How long was the run-up? Were you preparing for it for a long time? Or was it a few weeks out, let's try?
No, it was 2 months before.
Okay.
We had some sit-downs with the in-laws and my wife, and I'm like, I want to come back racing. So I got told I'll be supported until October, and it was like April there.
Okay.
In October, if I don't have a ride or I don't put in results for anything, then I go back to my job.
Okay.
Then I know that I gave it my all, and that's how it's going to end up. And obviously, we kind of know how Colorado went. I went out there and qualified fastest and went 4.6 for 5th overall or something like that.
Yep.
And I got the call that day from Ziggy. It was like, hey, you got a contract, for next year. I'm like, it paid off.
Yeah.
All it took was one race.
Wow.
And so I knew deep down, I'm like, it's going to take one race and one result for the people to believe in me again. And that's what it did.
Which is how the sport works. I always say that, unfortunately, maybe that's not fair, but they're not looking for a series of 13th place finishes consistently. They want speed one time, and then we'll harness it.
Exactly.
So you kind of knew already, if I can just do this.
Yeah, and I came in there just like with the fire lit under me. It showed. Like I was so just wanted to do so good.
Right.
And I had that thing on my back, just like, I'm not going back to work. I'm not going back to work. And I wish I could have that again, because I almost lost it in a way. Because I had more injuries. I broke my leg a year later, and but obviously before then I won. I got my first ever podium. It's like things were clicking for me, and that was just like it's so satisfying to look back. And before I retired, if I looked at a podium, it was so far out of reach for some reason mentally. Yeah, and I'm like. Now I'm like, I can win on any weekend, and I believe in myself, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So, how much different do you feel like walking up to the racetrack on Saturday morning tomorrow compared to where you would have been 5 years ago? Is it totally different emotions?
Oh my gosh, it's way different. Like I would say 5 years ago, I would dread race day.
Really?
In a way.
Wow.
Like I would be nervous. I would be stressed. I would be put so much pressure on myself, being like, if I don't put in a top 10 tomorrow, that I'm going to get cut or I'm not going to have a ride.
I see.
To where now I look at it like, that's going to be the easiest day of the week. Saturday's fun. Like I can't wait for race day.
That's crazy.
It's so cool that your mentality changes once you kind of, get that spark back in you.
And obviously you're working super hard now. Were you working hard then, or you look back and you're like, nah, man, I was... because of the job thing, now I'm more motivated? Or were you trying back then?
No, I mean, when I was on TLD days, I trained, but I didn't take it serious. Okay. I was young, and like every other young kid, I'm like, I don't need to train. Yeah. I'll just ride the dirt bike, I'm fine. And it showed, I had a couple good races, but mostly I'd fade. And I still didn't care. It was like, I grew up racing, I'm like, I'll have another ride next year, I'm fine. I see. And then it just ended, to where all right, we're not re-signing you. I'm like, what do I do now? Yeah. And then obviously the rest, I just stopped racing. And then when you come back, I'm like, I'm going to do this the right way. Mm-hmm. And I want to know in 5 years when I'm 30 or however long when I'm done, that I trained my hardest, I ate the best, I rode my hardest, and I couldn't do anything different.
Have you seen any of I don't know what the timing was with TLD, have you seen some of those old guys around? I'm sure you have, because you've come back.
Yeah, and I've actually talked to... Yeah, so I've talked to all those guys before, and then Tyler Keefe was one of the main reasons. When I was on his team, me and him butted heads so much. Really? I was a little punk kid, and he was kind of like the dad that I did not want to listen to. And now that I talk to him, I'm like, dude, I thank you for those days. Mm-hmm. Because you, at the time, I hated you. And he knew it, that I didn't like him. And now I thank him because he made me who I am today. And it's like... I know what he wanted out of me and what he saw. Yep. And so I'm bummed because it's like they had to let me go and I never got the results I wanted to with him. But he's pumped for me that I came back and won. And he was one of the first guys that texted me. It was like, I'm so pumped for you. I knew you could do it and all that stuff. So it's crazy how it's goes full circle.
That is cool though, because I think that's what confuses people on the outside. Everybody's kind of a community here. It would be easy to think that they're like, why didn't you win for us, bro? Yeah. But that's not really the way people in the pits react.
No, see, we're all kind of get along. There's very few that people are butting heads and hate each other. You see, there's Yamaha guys. My brother works for Yamaha. He'll come over and hang out with the Honda guys. It's we all get along, and there's moments where you don't like the other team or something, but it's a small sport, and we all got to get along and try to grow it together.
We're all at the airports together.
We are.
I mean, it'd be weird. It'd be difficult to mean mug someone all weekend, every year.
Yeah, and you get that with some riders. Like, man, I had it with Alex Martin when I took him out in a Supercross where it just went bad. My frustration got the best of me.
Right.
And I had to own up to it and say sorry. And it gets awkward for a little bit.
Keith was not happy either, by the way.
No. See, he came up to me then and was pretty pissed. That's fine. That was a dumb move. But,
okay.
It's all, I settle things and I try to be, like, humble around the sport. I'm not cocky. I'm not someone that's overly confident or anything like that. I try to be nice to everybody and smile at all times and enjoy these days.
Okay, so you mentioned when you came back you had all this fire, and then Supercross went awesome right off the rip. So were you saying that you feel a little differently now, and you're trying to find that mental side again? Is that what you were saying?
No, I would say last year, I felt like I was searching because I had those wins, and then I almost was on such a high, and then I had a couple bad races. I broke my leg, and then I expected the next year in 2017 to have that year again, and it went fully opposite. Right. And I'm like, I hired a trainer, DV, and me and him, I'm like, dude, this is going to be my best year. I'm going to win a championship.
But in the preseason, you were riding well, right?
Yeah, so everything was going good. I'm like, this is going to be it. And it seriously went total opposite of what I wanted. Right. And that's part of it. That's the sport. You're not going to get what you want every time. Right. And so I would say whole 2017 year was kind of a wash for me. Yeah. Mentally, I was broke down. My Supercross results were terrible, and then I got the fill-in ride last year with 450, and I put in some good rides, but then I got hurt again at Glen Helen. Right. Broke my hand, and I couldn't fully come back from that for the rest of the year. But man, I feel like I stepped back after last year, reset, and found the fun in it again, and more fun than a job. Where I looked at it in 17 as like, I'm going there to win. That's it. I'm so serious. This. And now I'm like, I'm going there to have fun. And the whole offseason, it was me, Cole Seeley, and a couple other guys that were just having fun going on our bike rides, having fun at the gym, and having fun riding. Yeah. It was so much fun, and I enjoyed all those days. Yep. And we found that love again. I'd say we both did. Me and Cole, we were kind of flat in the outdoors, and we were kind of both searching. We got that same trainer, and things started to click for us. Unfortunately, Cole got hurt, but he was doing good too. He was second in points and on his verge of getting that win in a couple years. So, man, I'm having fun though. I'm enjoying this.
I think fans here, I don't want to hear the guys have fun. It's their job to win. But as you just explained, I always tell them, like, look, they want to win. That helps them. Yeah. The more fun you have, the better your results are. You're not having fun because you feel like stealing money from a team and chilling out. Yeah. It's because you'll ride better if you feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you go out there, like for me, if I ride too serious, I ride worse. Right. And then some guys it works better. Yeah. Like I would say Cooper Webb, if he rides mean, he rides better. Yeah. But for me, I got to be relaxed. I got to be in a good mood. Things got to be clicking, which they do. I'm not picky with my bike or anything. Yeah. And if I'm throwing whips or something like that, or smiling through the day, and that things click for me, and that's when my results come. And people know that now, to where it took a while, but now the teams know. Like my mechanic knows. He's like, "Don't think. I see you overthinking over there. Just, you're fine. Smile." And then I get reminded, all right, have fun.
I've heard many teams say, like, that 6 o'clock time at Supercross, practice is over, there aren't any more bike changes to make. Yeah. Watch the footage, there's nothing more you can do. And teams have invited guys like Mathis and I to come over and razz people and basically distract from that hour of just thinking about it. So is that kind of what you're saying? Like, you can't just think about the track all the time.
Yeah, and it wears you out. You only have so much room in your head to think about it, you know? It's like, keep that energy high in your head and be optimistic. Don't be like, it's either going to be win or crash, you know? Right. And then I have my son Jagger, and I bring him to all the races that I can, and he's my distraction. I'll come off the track, and I'll be so mad with, like, my qualifying result. Like, I felt so good, but I was 8th. Yeah. And then I'll come off, and he's like, good job, Daddy. And I'm like, gosh, what do I do now? Yeah, you know, I'm like, so instant smile, and that just cures everything in my head. And so I mean, I guess if you're one of those riders, I guess you just need a kid to get...
Maybe.
But no, he's my distraction, and no matter how I do, I come off the track and he acts the same, so it's cool.
Well, yeah, that you spilled right into what I was going to say. It seems crazy. These are such stressful days, racing. And then I know I have a kid similar age. It's stressful days doing dad life. And I'm like, how can he possibly pull off 2 stressful things at one time? But you're saying it's almost, it's like a tool almost. It's helpful. It's not like, I have to do this. It's you want it this way.
Yeah, this is the way I want it. He could be a pain in the butt on race day, but that takes my mind off of overthinking on the track.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there pissed at him, but I'm not pissed at the track, so it works either way. But then he could be happy, and I'm happy with him.
Right.
But he's 3, and I see how much fun he has at the track, so that makes me have even more fun. Yeah.
So same thing, like that. Dude, even if you're racing locally, C-class, whatever, people know it's a weird day. It's hard to act totally normal. Yeah. So do you feel you can get to that point? Like you can be a normal guy most of the race day, or is it always there?
No, I think I'm at that point now.
Okay.
I would say this is the first year to where I came and I've been relaxed enough on race day. Yeah. And just like, you kind of let yourself go. Mm-hmm. And you don't like fear the bad result or fear a crash. Right. I come in the race day and I'm like, whatever happens is going to happen today, and I just want to know when I'm leaving and driving out of this track that I gave it my best. Okay. And then, like, it's funny because, I mean, Salt Lake Supercross this year, Justin Brayton came in, and he knew I was frustrated, and I didn't even say anything. He just walked in. I was sitting up there reading a book, actually, a mindful book. Like one of those books for mentality. Really? He comes up and he's like, hey, I could see you're stressed out. And he gave me this 20-minute talk, and it opened my eyes huge. Wow. Kind of just like what he had to do. He's been through it. Yeah, he's like, you know what? If I go out there and I get 14th tonight, it's not going to matter. He's like, I want to know that I gave it my all tonight. If it's 14th, that's fine. Yep. And I'm like, holy crap, that's so true. Wow. That was better than the book? Oh, it was, for sure. And he wrote me something, and showed me it, and it was like, it was so cool for him to come over, and I had to race him that night. I beat him. So I'm like, hey, I think that talk actually made me faster. Sorry about that. Yeah. But it's just something like that that you got to remember is don't take it so seriously. And at the end of the night, it's, you're back with your family or whatever. You're back home, and it's over, and just deep down know that you gave it your all. That's all you can do. That says a lot, too, because now you get an even more golden opportunity to be on Team Honda in the 450 class, but that means it's even harder. The class is even gnarlier. But at the same time, you're able to push that stuff away. Like, you're not here saying, oh man, they gave me a 450, I have to make this work. Yeah, and I would say I was like that last year when I first got it. I was taking it way too serious. I was like, holy crap, I'm on my dream team. What do I do? Like, I gotta produce results, or they're gonna get someone else. And then this year when I got the call, I'm like, all right, it's time to show my real self. Hangtown, it was pretty cool because I crashed both motos, but I came back not freaking out. It's like people could take that the wrong way and was like, oh, is he even taking it serious? Oh, I am, but I'm like, I could have freaked out about my crash while I was in 3rd or 4th. Right. But you know what? I got up and I set one of my fastest lap times after that. So I'm like, I was happy with that. Right. I'm like, okay, so I got up and I still pushed pretty hard. Yeah. And then the second moto, I didn't fade. Like I was pumped with my fitness, even though I was in 8th place. I was like, all right, that's something I can take to Glen Helen, and now I know what I need to work on. So it could be like a maturing. Maybe. Yeah. But I look at this racing thing a whole lot different. It's unfair for riders because everyone knows how important the mental thing is. And then it's like that leads people to say, like, why are all these guys so mental? And I'm like, obviously the sport is doing it. It's not a random coincidence that every dude who ever races a dirt bike for a living, the mental side's important. Yeah. That's too random. The sport makes you that way with the pressure, the dangers, and honestly, there's so little room. Even 8th is good, but you want to do better than 8th. Yeah. Other sports, you could be the 8th best and you'd be fine. Yeah. But it's hard to deal with that. Yeah. And then, like, mentality, our mental coaches are so small, and especially in our sport. There's not a lot. Yeah. You get a trainer to go in the gym, and then you get a coach for the track. That's it. Yes. And then it took me till I was 24 to, all right, it's time to find someone to fix my head. So you did this? Yeah. So I hired a mental coach when in 2016. I got some wins, and I think that showed that I was like, all right, I got to keep this mental coach. You know,
Wow.
It's like, that's obviously working. And then I actually heard an interview a couple months ago, or not even that long, that Plessinger said something about a mental coach.
Wow. Yeah.
And then that helped him with Supercross Championship. I'm like, okay, so people are starting to figure this out.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like to say it that much, like in interviews, but because it could be like a giveaway for these other riders.
Oh, to do it too.
Yeah.
Or
like,
some guys I think would be afraid to be like, that doesn't look tough.
Yeah.
It's a weakness.
Yeah, but everyone's dealing with a little bit of pressure
Absolutely.
or stress, and the mental coach just helps you get through it. It's more like a life coach. Someone that just, like, I'll go there and tell them how I feel on the gate, and they help me redirect my mind to not think that negative stuff.
Wow.
So, like, I'll tell them, hey, I'm going up to the gate, and I'm thinking, what if I fall this motor, or I don't like that jump? And they'll be like, okay, well, why don't you go up the gate and then think the just more positive stuff, and it'll redirect you, and then you find yourself thinking that, and I'm like, holy crap, I did it. And then I'm pumped that I do that, you know? I'll go back to her and I'm like, I did it, I'm pumped, you know, like, or I'll write a little note on my palm, on my glove, just to keep looking at it, you know?
Wow.
And something that she taught me, my mental coach, and it helps, you know, it's cool.
This is probably a lot of money that you're giving away too much now. I'm going to be able to charge for this podcast, giving away too many secrets.
Yeah, it's fine, but I know some other riders that do it also, and I think it's coming out now, and then there's, you know, Cole helps me with it, or Cole does it also, and it helps riders overcome fear, overcome injuries, overcome a lot. And,
I did one of these with Dunge, and he said he did it too, and he said the thing that shocked him the most, he's like, it didn't even take that long.
No.
Like, I was struggling for years, and then I just briefly, and I was like, oh, that was that easy. I wish I had done this earlier. No, this is good. This fits right in. We've learned Jagger and Paige have showed up now.
Yep, this is the mental coach right here.
We've learned how much it helps. Big smiles all around.
This is like the longest interview he's ever had.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast, bro. Oh. We're going big. We're going big.
But yeah.
You got to get more stress coming now. It's kid number 2, bro.
2 kids, yeah, and it's a girl, so it's gonna be even more. But I want a family. Racing doesn't last forever, so the family does. And no, it's gonna be fun growing up, watching Jagger grow up around this, and he's sitting here messing with stuff.
No, he's taking the cooler.
Yeah, this is empty. I love this, and this is I cherish every day for sure. And sometimes I have to slap myself because I'll take it for granted, and I'll have to remember that these days are numbered for sure, especially in this sport. It's such a young age. Motocross it's like 30 is like young in life, but in motocross it's old.
Yeah.
So I'm 26 now, and I'm enjoying these days.
You mentioned Cole. This is so weird. Like, you guys are on these like parallel tracks, and you even somehow end up riding for the same team, filling in for each other and everything.
Yeah.
That's real atmosphere there. That's okay. Jagger's in the truck, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird how that's worked out. You ride together, you train together, you fill in for them. It's just strange.
Yeah, and you can go back to 2009. I got the call from David Pingree to go to TLD. Yeah. I broke my back, so I was out a year. Cole actually filled in for me.
He was the fill-in for you?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
So he was done with racing, and he got the call to fill in for me. He was actually not even racing.
Yeah.
And then that sparked his career, and now look at, he has wins and almost a championship. It's like, it's crazy to look at that. And now we go full circle. We were teammates at TLD. Now we're teammates here and training partners and all that. So it's pretty crazy to look back now. Yeah.
You must have talked about this 1,000 times.
Yeah, and you forget it. But I'm like, dude, 2009, I'm like, that was my ride that you took.
Yeah.
Like, I'm filling in for you now, but you were filling in for me in the beginning.
But that he also went through the not wanting to race thing, and then he came back better.
Just like me, but he was younger. He stopped racing. He went and worked for, I think, a graphic company.
He got a job.
Yeah, he got a job. He was going to go to school, like college or something.
Yeah.
And obviously that call from Pingree came, and then look at him now. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so your dad raced, and this is one of the things, and I'm going to just be serious here. This is one of the things I think that's difficult. Your dad was so fast every once in a while. Does that reputation, it doesn't mean that you're like that, but does that reputation, you think, haunt you where you're like, oh, Christian could be good, but we don't know? I mean, are you anything like him, really?
No.
Because you get stamped that way.
No.
Yeah.
I'd say at first, they're like, it's Mike Craig's kid.
Yeah.
So they almost want me to be like they're almost like, is he going to be like that?
Exactly.
But I think I've made my name.
Right.
That I'm not Mike Craig's kid anymore. I'm myself. I want to be better. I want to be stronger than he was. I want to be like, I have a win. He's got a couple wins, so I need to beat that.
Right.
And, I want to have a better legacy than he did.
Yeah. I mean, he had wins.
Yeah.
He had a few really good moments.
Yeah.
And you want to be more consistent across the board.
Yeah. And he had some bad ones, and then he made some poor decisions too. So,
right.
I'm looking to better that.
Yeah. So you feel at this point you've established where you don't need to get haunted by that.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I grew up Mike Craig's kid, but I think I'm Christian Craig now.
That's pretty cool. Is your coach a trainer guy we're talking about? Is that Blake Savage?
Yeah.
And I did one of these with him.
I listened to that one too.
Yeah.
While you were running, that was cool.
You were running with Kenny, yeah.
You guys weren't even breathing hard. I would have been dying because I'm not a runner.
Come on, you're a professional athlete.
Not a runner. Nope. But you're killing it.
We did 8.5 miles, 8.5 minute miles, which is okay.
That's
and
pretty
then
fast.
I that was good for me, and then Kenny, I guess, did like 6:10s at a race like a few days later.
I'm just not a runner.
But you've got to be all beat up. That's probably half of it.
Yeah, my back won't allow me to run, so I go for a warm-up run, and my back's like, I'm 80. Like, I can't walk anymore. And then my knee hurts. I'm like, I'm not running anymore. I'm done. I'll stick on to a bicycle or a dirt bike.
Okay. Low impact. Well, not the dirt bike part. Okay, so then who's worse physically in the morning right now? Pregnant wife or you? Who's tending to each other? Are you pretty good when you wake up? Or are there times where she's got to...
I'm a morning person, so I'm up before her. I make the coffee.
Okay,
I get my energy before the Jagger wakes up, and then she comes out. And I'm kind of like Mr. Mom right now.
I wake up 5 minutes after you.
Enough time to make coffee.
I make the coffee.
But
If you wake up before your kid, you're doing something right.
I do laundry. I do the dishes.
Okay, but you don't do all. You act like you do it all. Like you always do.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you doing nothing?
She's pregnant.
Doing it all.
Sit there.
She has heartburn.
You just sit there.
I did laundry this morning, Dick.
Real talk.
She does it. Yeah.
I do it, but Christian's more consistent with it. Yeah. But it's fine.
More consistent with the laundry.
I handle all of his emails, all of his life, so
I'm just a clean freak. Like, I gotta have stuff clean at all times. I don't like stuff in the laundry basket. I don't like dirty dishes. And she's starting to realize that, so she's helping me out with that one.
You buy cleaning or getting you to be okay with stuff not being clean? Which is the more logical, chill out. Yeah, so I need to chill, but then she figures that she needs to kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like we're headbutting a little bit, but we're figuring it out. With the laundry, we headbutt a little bit. Okay. She did some this morning. She doesn't like this. She did. No, I know. We want to put a good, strong face on this. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. She is the best mom. She's got to take care of Jagger all day, take him to school. Mm-hmm. It's nonstop work for her. There are so many riders who are OCD. That can't be a coincidence either. I don't know if you're saying you're OCD level, but the clean, neat thing. I mean, what would you say? Am I OCD? No. Is he full OCD or just part-time? A little bit. Not full. What about your garage? Clean. What about your garage? Yeah, tight. That thing's always tight. What is up with you guys? Every rider's like that. My bicycles are always clean. If you mess with any of this stuff, is it a bad? If Jagger messes with my stuff, yeah.
Jagger, I don't mess with it.
Oh, because you just know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she did, though, not good. Don't mess with your stuff. Yeah. Yeah, every rider is like that. I'm just a clean freak. I don't know why. And I specifically asked the garage because that is probably the hardest thing to keep everything clean because there's tools that are being used. Yeah. Nope, you got it dialed. Yeah, but that's like my man cave, so it's my hangout spot. I like that. Real quick, just so talk about Blake and that whole crew that you've got. I guess you probably work with AC sometimes, Kenny, Cole. Yeah. So I spent summer last year in Florida. Yeah. Cole came also, so we had like a full summer of AC, Kenny, Chase. Mm-hmm. We went to the gym. We got to go on cycles all together. Right. It was fun. We have a good group to where we don't like butt heads or have those moments where we hate each other. We more just have fun. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. But how tough is that? The lap time wars every day. Like, I was there at the Supercross track that day. Like, do you still get a little bit inside? Yeah, you do. You want to beat the guy. Sure. You kind of have those bragging rights every day after practice. It's like, we go to the gym after we ride and we're like, remember that lap time I did earlier? Okay. You know, it's something like that. Yeah. But it's just a little jab and then it makes you better for the next day. And I always wonder, how much does it vary day to day? Because we don't see this stuff during the week. Is it literally like it can change Or is it like everybody's the same tense every single time, every moto, every day?
No, it changes.
It really does.
Yeah, like, see, Chase is always fast, but then Adam can go out there and throw a fast lap down.
Right.
When he gets mad or he's mad enough, it's like, Chase is 2 seconds faster? All right. And then that just starts a war. And me and Cole sit over there like, we're in the 450 class, we're fine.
Okay. You don't have to deal with them for a little while.
Yeah, we're fine.
Last thing, and I've asked you about this before, your style is so good, dude.
Yeah.
If we were just looking at style and Kehoe wasn't in here with lap times, we'd be like, this is the best rider in the world for sure, and he's probably got the #1 plate. But as you say, you feel like you're pushing even though it looks like you're cruising.
Yeah, then that's what I have to tell people. They're like, look like you're just cruising. You can go faster there. I'm like, dude, I'm pushing it right now. I feel like I'm going so fast. And they're like, you barely like you're trying. I'm like, no, that's just how I ride. I ride a gear higher. I don't rev. I stay off the clutch. And that's how I was taught to ride a 450 or 250.
Yeah.
And I try to be really precise, and I think that's why it shows that my style is just smooth and all that.
Right.
So, no, I feel like that's my a positive for me, and that's what I benefit from.
Yeah, but when you feel like you're on the edge like everybody else.
Yeah, and then I watch myself, I'm like, geez, I look slow.
Oh, so you notice this too?
Yeah, I look slow, but then I look at the lap times and I'm fine.
Yes.
So it's almost deceiving. Like, I look slow, but I'm not. So it throws it off.
How much of that did you develop, or you just did? Like, you worked on it, or no?
Yeah, so I'd work on it when I was on like 85s. I was always told to stand up everywhere. So you can see I hardly ever sit down. I hardly ever take my feet off the pegs.
Yep.
I was always told never to rev.
Really?
Always be a gear higher. And
even on 2 strokes?
Yeah. So always just like use your power. And that's when you shift, you use your power. So and it transferred to how I am now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
If you watch, how much does it evolve? Like, if you see video of yourself even like 3 years ago, is it the same? Or does riding styles and technique and everything advance?
I think it's evolved. It's different.
It is different.
I've brought some aggression to my style.
Okay.
So I am getting better with being aggressive, but style is still the same. It's just more of attacking that I'm getting better at.
Right. You're in a better place, you said, with the pressure and all this stuff here. So what do you like? Do you start thinking results, or is it better to just go to the track and do my best?
No, the results are always there.
They are, okay.
Yeah, always there. I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
I'm capable of top 5s. Worst top 10s, and that's what's happening. I want to be on that. I want to be on that podium really bad. I've never got an overall podium in outdoor. I'm on that edge. I've gotten force, but I know there's just a couple things that I need to work on, like intensity, like I just said, and I'll be right there. So I'm on that edge of just breaking that barrier that I'm stuck on. Yeah, I'll get there, and I'm gonna get there eventually, and I'm gonna keep working, and I know what I'm capable of doing. So
when you get these hole shots like you did last year here for the crash or last week, I mean, you're just running that pace. It's not like, oh my God, they're all over me.
No, see, and then like sometimes it works out for me. I'll go into my pace, and then the guys behind me will make mistakes, and I'll break a little gap. And I stay my pace, but they pick it up. So I need to be better at picking up better lines throughout the moto and getting faster, not just staying your own pace.
Oh, so that's what it is. They get faster. I see.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there in my pace, so it looks like I'm getting slower.
Right.
I'm just stuck in my whatever pace, and they're just slowly getting quicker and quicker, and then that's what I'm trying to work on, is just building the speed up throughout the moto, and then be more like move around more on the track. Don't stay in your same line. The ruts are going to get deeper, so move around. And like Tomac's really good with that. He can go anywhere on the track and make it look fast.
I see.
So I try to take pointers from all the riders. I'll go watch the motos even after this weekend and be like, all right, what did he do better? What did he do better? And I'll try to bring it to the next race.
That's good though. So it's not like when you get these starts, you're like, dude, I'm in the deep end. No. You're running that.
No problem. I'm pumped at first because I'm not sitting there in the roost.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, all right, let's lead some laps because that's my goal. I want to lead laps.
Jagger's in here now with gloves on.
Cooler.
Got gloves on and the biggest ear-to-ear grin you could possibly have. Yeah, exactly. But all right, so things are looking up.
Yeah, so I'm in a good spot. I'm just building. I mean, I could say that all the time. I'm 26, so people could say I'm at my peak, but Osborne's what, 28?
Look at your guy, Brayton.
Yeah, so you can always keep getting faster.
Brayton got faster from age 32 to 34.
Yes. So I got some time. We're good. Just keep working.
Okay, no pressure.
Nope.
That's the best part. All right, say bye. Can you say bye?
Say it louder.
Bye.
There you go. Excellent. You know, listening back to that, it's really heartbreaking to hear the optimism. Christian feeling like things were coming together. He was mentally in a good spot. He was going to be much better this summer. And now he has a torn ACL. That's not only heartbreaking, but unfortunately quite typical for the way things often go in this sport. You do everything right. You get yourself in a great mental position. You get yourself in a good physical position. You have the right bike. You're on a track that you're familiar with. And then things still go awry. There were virtually no variables in that. Everything was going his direction, and then something still went wrong. That's the strange part of this whole motocross racing thing. I guess that's just part of all sports, but this one probably tangles people and pretzels them up more than anything. So maybe the next time that we say, what's up with all these guys? Why are they so mental? Realize, as I said to Christian, it's the sport that's making them that way. It is not a coincidence that every single person who ever raced a dirt bike professionally is quote-unquote mental. Obviously, the pressures and the dangers of racing are what's bringing it out of them. Anyone who's ever raced knows as soon as you go to the starting line, you're super nervous. The dirt bike race is making you that way. So that's what we've learned from Christian Craig. And also the lesson of if you take time out and supervise construction sites, you'll be that much more motivated to be a good athlete when you decide to come back. And he's motivated now, already putting up photos on Instagram, working hard, working out, rehabbing, plans to come back stronger. So again, get well soon. To Christian Craig, thanks to our sponsor, Yoshimura. Go to yoshimura-rd.com. 63 years of research and development and a really cool factory where they make all the exhaust system components right here in the United States, boosting the California economy. Had no idea that this type of thing was still going on. And by the way, owe it to yourself to check out racerxbrand.com. We're churning out new shirts, new cool stuff. Also, you can see them at the Nationals. Go to the race. Get a pit pass if you subscribe to Racer X. Hang out in the pits all day long. Annoy people in the pits just like I do at every event. And be sure to check out Thunder Valley National this weekend, MAV TV, and of course NBCSN. I hate when people say, why the Nationals on MAV TV? Second half of the day is on NBCSN. It's a big network. All right, enjoy the podcast. See you next week.